Here are the answers to the non-calculator paper from November 2010, and these are the level 2 answers. Okay, question 1 is your 4 operations question. These are either right or wrong, so make sure you lay out your working nice and neatly, and take care with your number of operations. It's 24.22, 6.64, 82.8 and 2.3. And remember they're either right or wrong, so it's well worth checking that you've got them right. Question 2 is fractions, decimals, percentages. To make it a percentage, you've got to have it with a denominator of 100, which means times top and bottom by 4, 24%. 8% is a decimal, is 8 hundredths, which is 0.08. And the 0.8 would be 80%, we want 8%. 3/8 so 3/8 times 200, cross cancel with that, and makes it 25, so it's 75 centimetres. The other way is to divide it by 8 and times by 3, mentally, but check you've got it right. And then 300 grams as a percentage of, change that to a fraction of, so it's 300 over 2,000, cross cancel, make it in denominator of 100, and then it's 15%. So whenever it says as a percentage of, think as a fraction of. Question 3, bid mass, write it in big letters to make sure you do the right order. So it's 14 plus 24, take away 2, which is 36. This one, square the 3 first, then do the division, and your answer is 25. Show your working and do it step by step. So prime factors, make sure you do a factor tree, and it's 2 squared times 3 times 7. It does say using the indices, so make sure you've used the indices there. The largest odd number is 21, which is 3 times 7. Question 5, 2/3 of a carat each day. So if you think it's a division one, this one, so you flip it upside down in times, cross cancel, and it's 18 days. 1/4 of a carat each day. So all together you need to do 1/4 plus 2/3. Make sure you get a common denominator, which is 12, so it's 11/12. And then all together in 36 days, you've got a times in here, so it's 11/12 times 36. So cross cancel, and you get 33 days. Question 6 is substitution. It's also bid mass as well, so it's well worth writing that at the top. It's 4 minus 3 plus 6. When you get adding and subtracting, do it from left to right, just do it all at once. So it's 1 plus 6 is 7. On this one, just write it out. Make sure if you take away a negative, you're really adding it. So the answer is 20. And this one, if you square a negative, it becomes a positive. So it's 25. And again, this one, make sure you just work through, use bid mass. Multiply it first, add the top line, and divide, and you get 8 is the answer. Question 7 is solving equations. Minus 6 from both sides, and you get W is 7. Be careful with this one. It's x divided by 4, so the inverse of divide by 4 is times by 4, so x is 48. Multiply out brackets first of all, so and then minus 15 from both sides, so 6y is minus 12, divide by 6, y is minus 2. And then last one, numbers on the right, letters on the left, so it doesn't matter which order you do that in, but you get to 2z is 11, so divide by 2, and z is 5.5, or 5.5. Question 8 is speed, distance, time graph between point A and B. So he's gone 6 kilometres in 30 minutes, 2 kilometres in 30 minutes, which is 4 kilometres in an hour. What happened between points B and C? She's not going anywhere, so she stopped. Then she walked towards Sandy's house. and they meet at 3 kilometres from Sally's house at 12. So that's where they meet, so you can draw that line up there and that line there. And then they walk together at the same speed, so that carries on just a straight line through D, and then they arrive at 1300 hours. Question 9 is straight line graphs. So we'll do this page first and we'll have a look at the lines. Fill in the table. 9 minus 2x, so it's 3 and negative 3. On this table, a half x minus 1, and a half of x, then take away 1, so we get 0 and 2. If we look at the lines, there is 9 minus 2x labelled, and there is half x minus 1 labelled. The coordinates where they meet is 4, 1. There we go, along the corridor upstairs. A parallel line that goes through 3, 3 is this one here. And the coordinates on the point of the line you've drawn where it crosses the y-axis, here's the y-axis, and it's 0, 1.5. Again, along the corridor, 0, up the stairs, 1.5, 1.5. Question 10 is angle chasing. An equilateral triangle, all the angles are 60 because they've got to add up to 180. And then in this diagram, there's your equilateral triangle, so they're all 60. A is on a straight line, so it's 120. B is part of an isosceles triangle, so we've got 120 here, which means 60 is shared between these two, which means each of those is 30. Look how I'm labelling as I go. And then if we've got a straight line here, we've got 90 degrees that side of the line, so we'll have another 90 to make it 180 on a straight line. On this one, we've got a Z angle because they're parallel, which means that D is 55. It's only worth 1 mark, so chances are you won't have to work anything out. It'll be the same as another angle. Then E, so we've got a straight line here, so that's 80. So together they make 135, which means that's 45 in order to make the triangle add up to 180. Label as you go each angle. Question 11 is about a conversion graph. So it's £12 for 100 units, so it's 100 times 12p. Then 600 units would be £72. So we can put that on our graph here. £72 for 600. There, that one there. And it will go through 0, 0 as well, because if you don't use any electricity, you shouldn't get charged for it. Then we need to show clearly 540, draw it up and draw it across, and it's £65. Then it's £52, so there we go again, and anywhere between 430 and 440. But be very accurate with that. Quite often these days you'll need to use sharp pencil and it will be one single answer, so they don't give you a range. So be accurate. Sharp pencils. Question 12 is a nice enlargement question. Shape A is a trapezium, it's got a pair of parallel lines. Enlarge its scale factor 3 from P, so 1, 2, 3, point goes there, 1, 2, 3, point goes there, and then everything will be 3 times longer. So if it's a scale factor 3, the area scale factor is 3 squared, so everything will be 9 times bigger the area, which is 94.5. You could also make it into a rectangular triangle and work it out that way. Question 13 is to draw a rhombus. So what you need to know is that all the lines are the same length. So you'd use a compass to draw your arcs, and that's point D there, which makes a nice rhombus. You could also measure, I guess, that angle there and double it, and then do the same there where they join up. But if you use a protractor, label your angles. Perpendicular distance from D to AB is that line there. which could be about 3.8. And then the area of a parallelogram, or rhombus in this case, is the base times the perpendicular height, which is 4.8 times 3.8, which is 18.24. But whatever you measured here, use here. Question 14 is a pattern sequence one. Draw the next pattern there, make sure you're nice and careful, and ditto, add these up, and you get 18, 22, 20, 30, and 38 and 52 for the total, which means that if you carry on your pattern, you will get 26 for pattern 6, unshaded in pattern 9 will be 90, and the total number in pattern 10 is 152. So you can just carry on the pattern for each of those. The final question is a cuboid. So I've drawn it 8 centimeters by 5 centimeters by 3. Label each length. Don't forget to do the inside. You can have a different orientation if it fits. Total surface area. We need to do the area of each side. Lay it out like this. Add them up, and you get 158. And then we need to work out how many of these we can fit in the 40 by 30 by 15. So 8 goes into 40 5 times, so you can fit 5 of them going back. You can fit 6 of them going that way, and you can have 5 up, which means that you can fit in 5, lots of 6, lots of 5, which is 150 boxes. You could also do that by working out the volume of each box and working out how many times that volume goes into the big one. So add up your marks, do any corrections in a different colour, and bring it back in at the start of next term.